How's it going, gang? It's a final render here, and welcome back to another video on Fallout 76 camp building. In this video, we're going to be building a camp in a region of the map which I have never built a camp in before. It's going to be very exciting, and many of you guys have been asking for me to build in this part of the world for a long time. But before we get into the camp building, quick announcement. On the 24th, I will be streaming with Bethesda. I'll be going down to the Bethesda offices, and we'll be going and playing some games down there, and it's going to be a great fun. Make sure you go and follow the Bethesda Twitch account or their Mixer account so you can see me, handsome final render, streaming with the Bethesda staff. So, with that being said, let's do another build. So in today's build video, we have come to the heart of the Mire, and yes, believe it or not, the game's been out for almost a year now, and I have never done a camp build inside the Mire. We found this really cool location, which has got kind of a Free States pre-made shack in there. You can find it just to the south of Radiclay's bunker. And it is a very cool location because it's got the kind of pre-decorated apartment below and it's got a cool electrical tower at the top. And a lot of people like this because having an apartment like this, a pre-made apartment you can put your camp in, means you can already have a very detailed pre-made home. Oh, and by the way, comment section. Yes, I am very much aware No Respawns literally just did a build here as well. It's pure coincidence. Go check out his video, it's very cool. It's got far more detail in this apartment than you could ever do with the camp system. But I'm not going to be doing that because I'm final render and I've got to be a little bit different. Above it, you can see we have this giant electrical tower. Now, I don't like the Mire. I don't like it. It looks humid. It looks really smelly with like the smell of swamp and wood rot. There's probably horrible bugs all over the ground. It looks like a horrible place to walk around. So I am going to be building an apartment on the top of this electrical tower. Number one is survival, people. Don't sleep on the ground. Bugs will get into your ears and lay their eggs in your brain and stuff like that. Don't do that. So we're actually going to be building an apartment above the ground so it's perfectly safe. And I spent a long time getting this right. In order to build at the top of one of these electrical towers, you need to get a perfect level of foundation up here. And the way to do that is to build a foundation on the ground, build stairs up to the correct height, and then slowly make all of your adjustments to get this right. In this case, I had to build like 2 stairs up, but it takes a very long time. It took me about 30 minutes to get the perfect height and the perfect angle in order to get all my floor pieces in here. However, once you do get it right, the actual tower is a perfect square. So if you get the exact right angle and the exact right height, you can have a perfect square compound up here. As I said, it takes a long time, but it's definitely worth it. And the entire idea is about having a kind of scrappy survivalist camp here. Something which I've also told myself with this build is that I'm going to try to keep atomic shop items to a minimum. Some people prefer to have more vanilla stuff. And now, this is something I wanted to do. I'm going to show you this cool thing. You can build towers with these stairs. If you have these stairs here and you attach 2 metal beams to the top, just like this, you are able to remove the first beam and then attach another set of these stairs to the top beam. And you can build as high as you want. And this is my original idea of what I wanted to do, rather than have some stairs to the offset of the actual tower. Because this looks glorious, and it works well. But there is one major problem with building stairs like this, or building a tower like this. And that is that if you go and attach upper floor sections to this tower, which is what we need to do, it means that you can't remove them. If you try to remove a floor section that you add to this area, it says the object is floating and can't be removed, or something along those lines. So I thought I'd show you that technique because it's a really cool technique, but it's not going to work in this case, unfortunately. We have to go and have the stairs offset. But overall, we've got a really nice amount of space, and it works really well. As I said, I really don't want to be touching the ground. It doesn't make sense to be touching the ground in a swamp area like this. In fact, it's dangerous to do so. And as I said, this is also going to be kind of a scrappy build. I want to keep atomic shop items to a minimum, but we are going to have some. Primarily, I want this garage door here, because we're going to be making a store. Now, I really like the idea of having a store with a fence in front of a garage door. This means you actually have an electrical door that you can open and close in order to open and close your vendors, which I think is a really cool idea. It's easy to do. You just got to attach a garage door to a roof and then have some defensive fences on the front of it, and it works really well. And once you've got that, you can put your vending machines in at a slightly different angle. You can have them kind of at a vertical angle, so you can fit all 4 of them inside a tiny amount of space. So here we have a tiny compact shop with the maximum amount of vendors in it. And I think it's awesome. It's a really nice little shop to have this. And I really wanted to have some extra decorations in there to make it look like we've got Vault Boy Man and a little vendor station. A good way to do this is to actually put all your wall decorations on a wall and then move the wall in after. You know, put the decorations up and then put the wall in. And in the end, we get a really nice effect. We get a very cool, cozy little vendor area, which has all the vendors we need. We've got 3 of them in there, and you can actually label all these things. It's just a really nice, space, cost-effective way to actually build. Too many people have vendors just scattered all across their camp, and it takes up way too much space. But with this, you can see, it's technically possible to get all of your vendors in a 1 foundation square. And here we are with the finished vendor area. It looks lovely. I really love this vendor area. We've got ourselves a little scavenger bot to help maintain the shop as well, which I absolutely love. That little bro bot right there, he's my bro. And we do have Vault Boy man in the shop itself. It looks really nice, actually. We've got some cool decorations. We've got all the fast arc masks on display, which I think is really cool. And of course, we are able to open and close our store, which I think is just a super cool way to just illustrate what kind of stuff you have for sale, to open and close it when it's open. And next up, we're going to build a little survivalist home up here. Now, something I've been doing as of late is to deliberately go to effort to try to make some of my areas I've been building look a bit scrappy. And a great way to do that is to never really have square or rectangular buildings, have unusual shapes, and also use as much variety of wall materials as possible. We've got lots of metal and we've got lots of wood inside this building to make it look not so clean. Brick and metal tends to look very clean, but having this kind of warehouse metal and the wood gives you a very, very cool look. And I needed to have some power up here, and I was originally going to go with this wind generator, but unfortunately it takes up a bit too much space. It's a bit of a problem having a wind generator up here, so I do actually swap that out for a smaller generator. But the idea is I wanted to make something that looks scrappy. And I think we've done a really good job here. Just going ahead and making the building look a little bit broken also really suits the Mire. I wanted to have a little workshop area for my power armor up here. And we're going to go and stack lots of stashes on top of each other. And we're going to have our power generator just offside it with some defensive fences around it in order to keep it protected. And now, I need a shrine for Patricia. If you guys don't know who Patricia is, the other day I went to go and stream the Fallout Wasteland Warfare tabletop game with my friend KPowerXD, and we went ahead and played this RPG game, and we met a toaster called Patricia, who saved the day. And unfortunately, I was not able to take Patricia home, so I'm going to have to recreate Patricia in-game. And now once that is done, I'm able to finish off my survivalist home. And the same thing for the roof, as I said for the walls. I don't just want to have a flat roof. I want to make the roof look a bit interesting. So we're going to use lots of 45-degree angles, slants. We're going to have lots of different slopes to make the roof look a bit more interesting, a little bit more scrappy. And once we're there, I'm going to build myself a little player home where I can sleep and chill out at the end of the day in the very top of the building. And it looks really good when this is finished. We're able to compact a lot of items together. And whilst I said I didn't want to have too many Atomic Shop items, I do have a couple in here. There's nothing wrong with having Atomic Shop items, people. Don't let anyone guilt trip you into doing that. But I do think it makes sense that if you want something scrappy, a lot of the Atomic Shop stuff does look very clean. So I can understand why we're not going to use as many in this build up here. And the same technique for when we built the store. It's a good idea to take off your walls, put your posters on your walls, and then put the wall in again after. That way you can properly plan where things are, and you'll have a much easier time of adding things later on as well. And we're doing some cool things like the magazine stand. Space is minimal up here, so I went with the vertical one. And overall, I think we've got a really nice confined player home. If you want to make something look scrappy, build small homes as well. That's something I think is a good idea. If you build a small home, it looks like you haven't had much to work with, and that instantly adds to the survivalist idea. Giant homes take time and effort and resources. Small homes, you can build with scrap. And building on that idea, we're going to build a tiny little kitchen. We're going to use the chemistry station as a sink, and we've got 2 cooking stoves in there. You can actually put the cooking pot on a table. Did you know that? Looks really good for a kitchen. I think it works out really well. And the same for a living room area. We're going to have a television on a stove, because to make it look like he just found a stove and that'll work as a table. I think that's a good idea anyway. Along with some nice books to read and some plushies to put on display, because hey, I love my plushies. What can I say? Just put a couple decorations on the visitor area. And here we are with the camp done. Guys, this looks beautiful. I love this camp. Something about this camp is truly fantastic. I think it's because I've deliberately gone for a very minimalist, very scrappy look. We've got a fantastic power armor area here, which has our power generator behind a defensive wall. We've got our actual power armor station, along with lots of stashes. And we even have this really cool mole rat which pops out of the toilet. That's one of my favourite items ever added to the Atomic Shop. We've got our Brobot around here scavenging around. It's good to have a friend after all. And our fantastic shrine to Patricia the Toaster. As I said, you can go and re-watch that stream on the Modifius area on Twitch if you want to, and see me playing Wasteland Warfare. And you can learn all about Patricia and why Patricia is being honoured in this shrine right here. We have our fantastic vendors right here. I love the ability to just open the doors. It feels very immersive. You know, you wake up in the morning, you open the vendor doors, and then your shop is open. I suppose really you could also maybe attach your vendors to the button which opens the doors so that they only appear on the map when you open the doors. That's something you could do that's quite immersive. And I think overall, the idea of having a small little vendor thing in a tiny area like that is awesome. And now here we have a tour of our player home right here. Very scrappy. I decided not to go with wallpapers and stuff in order to make it look scrappy. Make it look like it's been rotting in the mire for a long time. And overall, I think it's a really nice area. Something which is really cool about this area is that it feels clean on the inside, but at the same time it still feels scrappy. Because scrappy doesn't mean dirty. You'd still be able to sweep the floors and stuff like that. But I think we do need to make it look like this place is built with minimal materials. And overall, I think it's a really cool thing. We've got a really nice bedroom area up here, which is very tiny, very confined, but it makes perfect sense to have a small confined area in a scrappy build. Makes it much more believable. And of course we have all the things somebody would have if they were living there, such as magazine racks, televisions and stuff like that. The kitchen I really like. The kitchen is very minimalistic. Again, I love that you can put the pot onto the table. That combined with the stove and the chemistry station makes it a really believable look right there, but still looks scrappy. And we have a tiny little living room area which just has some paintings that they probably stole from some building nearby, along with a television and a sofa. I think overall this is one of the better builds I have done in terms of scrappiness. I really like it. And then we have a couple workshop benches right at the back because honestly I couldn't find a better place to put them, so I put them in the garden. You know, why not? We've got some cool little decorations like the tires and stuff like that to protect some of the walls, cover some of the gaps. We've also got different types of floor material as well. That's an important thing to mention. We don't just have plain wood, we also have different floor variants as well, again, to make it look scrappy. So thank you very much for watching this video, people. This is a build which I am really quite proud of, actually, because it is true. I do a lot of builds which have a lot of reliance on the Atomic Shop items. But in this case, I feel as if we have done a build which doesn't rely on them at all. Has gone with a lot of vanilla assets and used lots of cool camp building glitches in order to make something that is both lore friendly and actually looks very pretty. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Remember to go ahead and like the channel and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Remember to check out the cool Patreon people in the description below who help support the channel with their financial donations. And remember, go follow the Bethesda Twitch account to see me live streaming with them in 2 days. Bye bye, gang.